And welcome back to the post-match show. Something new we'll be bringing after every single game this season, so hopefully you enjoy it. But we are here discussing Tottenham's loss against West Ham on the opening game of pre-season tour. Here with us tonight we have Mia, and we also have Jacob. So absolutely great guest to get through this game match reaction with plenty of opposing opinions. First of all, before we sort of get into it, how are you, Mia?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not too bad.
Good. That's what we want to hear. Jacob, how are you, my man?
Woke up about 4 hours ago at 4 a.m. my time here in America to watch that match. Not disappointed. So I'm a little sleepy, David, but happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
No, fair play to the commitment for getting up early for the game, a bit earlier than Jacko as well, I believe. Jack
had it easy, 6 a.m.
Yeah, you were 4 a.m. It's madness, absolute madness. Well, look, let's go into the chat. Let's welcome some people in with us, and then we'll go through some of the match stats and we'll find out Mia's and Jacob's thoughts on the game. So we have Mark here with us. He says, surely Levy and Ange are going to turn to Dyer to save, aren't going to turn to Dyer to save our seasons. Wouldn't put it past Levy. Look, same old problem reared its head today. Ozzy Ardiles ball incoming if we don't buy centre-backs. A lot of people saying that, Bobby Andrews says, Lo Celso shot me. I think in a tree he could be a massive shock. I see we have slapped a 23 million price tag on his head. I think everyone watching that second half won't be shy of that. And we will be getting into Lo Celso today, actually. One of the best players on the pitch. I loved how he dropped into pockets of space to receive that ball, and he always wanted to be involved. It was nice to see. Tin Legs, Tony, big yourself up. Cara Simpson, great to see you in the building. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. We also have IrishHotspur. Love that name. Big up, my man. He says, come on, you Spurs. We have Tottenham till I die. Hey, guys, today I fell back in love with Tottenham Hotspur. Get two centre-backs in there. In Ange, we trust. Big up, Dermot. I think a lot of people really enjoyed that football today, my man. So, it was good to see. But again, same problem, draining heads. But there is a lot of positives to take away from today. Big up, Zoe. Great to see you. We have Zeres. I think going forward was absolutely good. I think we're very lucky the boys weren't clinical. The defence, it still needs to be sorted out. We can't play attacking football with these defenders. And look, I'll get on to it. I think first half, Tanganga, especially not willing to use his left foot, slowed a lot of it down, which meant I had to go back to Romero. So I see exactly what you're saying there, Ceres. Second half, though, was a lot better. Terry Wright, big yourself up, my man. Great to see you. Paul O'Connor says, afternoon, guys. Let's hope Levy sees we need centre-backs now, not next week or in 5 weeks. We need them now. Other than our defence, I think was amazing today. For our first time out this season, it was a very good show, my man. Very good show. And big up, Paul. Hopefully you're a good brother. And also big up, Chris. Came on the fan show yesterday. Absolutely brilliant. We also have Keith Edwards. If anyone thinks we're going to smash it out of the park after 4 years of defensive football, I just don't understand. And look, I sort of see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying, Keith. Dave Moore, 1974, beat yourself up. That's an Irish name if I've ever seen one. So Tanganga, Sanchez, and Davies were terrible. Yeah, look, I can understand it. Yeah, Tanganga, look, I wanted the guy to be given a chance, but he just can't play on the left. Paro Miguel Escobardo, great to see you, my man. We also have Martin Knightsbridge. He's become a new YouTube member. Let me just check exactly what membership that is that you've got there, my man. Give me one second there, brother. Flat Cap. Big up, brother. Absolutely love it. Really appreciate the support. Hopefully, we're actually dropping our new memberships tomorrow, man. So all the perks and everything that come with it. And with the Flat Cap membership, make sure you join the Fantasy Football League, the Irish Hotspur one, and try and beat your boys, David and Jack. Great to have you on board, Marion. Absolute legend. Who else have we got here? Just make sure we're not missing anyone. We also have Jason Helms. Says, come on, you Spurs. Actually excited after today's match. Today's team would have scored 20 goals against last year's team. Yeah, look, on another day, we would have been sitting here with Rangers on, because we would have run out 6-2 or whatever on another day.
Speak for yourself.
Sorry, my bad. DHFC Brown says, I still can't believe we had 72% possession. Was good, but need centre-backs ASAP. Big up Derek Hutchison, two new centre-backs. Where are they, Levy? You imbecile. Fair play. We also have Fox on the Hill. Prince this season is looking like it would be very similar to Aussie RDLS famous 5 team of 94, 95. A lot of people saying that. Big up Lisa Davis, just subscribe, love your chat. Big up to all. Come on, you Spurs. Lisa, really do appreciate that. Hopefully you enjoy yourself over here in this channel, and hopefully you can get involved in some of the stuff we do over here as well. Great to see you on board. And then we also have James, I believe. Big up, James. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. I'm doing all right, my man. Lewis is in the house. Positive match today. Tyler's in here. We also got Ellie in the building as well. Speak for yourself, Mia. Loving it. And then big up Tyler as well. Great to see you, buddy. Rob Belcher as well. I'm here. As always, my man, the match was Sanj. Love that. And then also Stellar's J. Lack of attacking ideas. Now, I'm going to bring up the match stats. We'll run through them quickly, and then we will get Mia's and Jacob's thoughts on it. So, of course, 21 shots to Tottenham to 7 to West Ham. 13 on target to Tottenham compared to 4 for West Ham. 73% possession versus 27%. Corners 16 compared to 4. Big chances missed 3 compared to 0. I mean, Mia, how did we lose this game? And what's your thoughts as well?
Do you know what? They were just clinical when they had their chances, weren't they? That's the thing. And we just weren't. Some of those chances that we didn't get, like the Basuma one, oh my goodness. Like, you're just like, just what are you doing with Romero as well? And he just literally scuffed it. He missed it, didn't he? He didn't even touch the ball. And like, yeah, we just wasn't clinical with our chances, and they just were, you know. So I think that's what happened ultimately.
And what's your overall takeaway from the game? How do you feel coming away from that game today? Positive? Still nervous about the centre-back situation?
I'm positive about the fact that you can see what we're trying to do. It's not all, Rome wasn't built in the day. So for me, it is going to take a little bit of time. This is the first competitive game that Andrew's got to playing his style. And don't forget, he hasn't had that much time with the guys to implement it. So it is going to take a little bit of time. So, yes, the defence does need sorting out, but he said himself it didn't really actually work on the defence. So I don't think that's going to make much difference with the imbeciles that we have. But yeah, I do think, like I say, I'm really positive for what I saw, because I felt like we were really good. Like, we had some really good moments, and the way we were passing the ball, you know, I just felt that, you know, that kind of excitement again to watch us, you know, Dave. It wasn't like that before. So I'm positive. I am positive.
How much did you enjoy us seeing us dominate the game in terms of the possession and the chances we created, Mia, right? It wasn't just down one side. It came down the left, the right, through the middle. It was, chances created from all over the park. On another day, probably could have won that 7-2, 7-3.
Yeah, and don't forget the 2 penalties as well. So we could have really ultimately won that game. But, you know, it is what it is. We're not going to moan about that. But, yeah, I feel like, it was just attacking from everywhere, like you say. And, you know, we'll get into the players. But I was so impressed with Solomon today. I thought Solomon did brilliant down that side. And we just looked like we were ready. We just wanted it. We just wanted to press. We wanted to have the ball. And we weren't scared to have the ball, and that's what you want to see. That is exactly what you want to see.
Absolutely spot on. Jacob, I mean, what's your thoughts on today's game? I'll flash the stats up here for you again. As you can see, we completely dominated. Look, I get the rusty sort of finishing. You know, that's something that, you know, you come back, you expect to be rusty in that sort of department, but the goals will come. We know that. But what's your overall takeaway? Do you see it as positive as Mia? Or do you see, you know, the other side of it where it's like sort of, and Mia addressed it like we do need centre backs? Or are you more on the, like, are you one of these where it's sort of like me? It's like, look, loads of positives today, but until we get this issue sorted out, things don't really change to a certain degree.
For me, Dave, I think a lot of it falls on, this is the same defense I always knew, right? When they go up 3-2 in the 78th minute, who was at fault? Who got embarrassed? And it's the same faces. It's the same people. I know Dyer didn't start today, but he didn't even play. Neither did the likes of Ndombele and these other players that we were really trying to keep an eye on to see what's going to happen. Harry Kane with 45 minutes, I thought that was more time than I thought that he would get. Son, no minutes. But when I look at the game overall, it really was a sample taste of what Ange Postecoglou's trying to do here, at least offensively and with the ball at our feet. And we know that that's how he wants to play. So for me, Dave, I'm excited with what we saw on the offensive front. I feel like the defense, with the lack of two center backs going into this trip, I always felt like it didn't really matter. We have the same what was the movie, The Usual Suspects. It's the same guys. They're still here. Of course, we're going to concede goals. On my stream yesterday when we were doing score predictions, there was not one person that predicted a clean sheet because no one has faith in this defense. So I know that. So rather than look at what I do know, I look at the positives. Like Mia said, Maynard Solomon was very bright. I think we were talking a little bit off air. I think he showed me more today than what Brian Hill has shown me his entire Tottenham tenure. And I think that we might have stumbled on something maybe potentially very special, or maybe something that could at least in the immediate future impact us off the bench. He's shown that at Fulham. I thought Basuma in his role was very good going forward, very good playing back. I thought he kind of did it all. James Madison's passing and Pedro Porro's passing. It's so great, Dave, to see some beautiful forward passing. And normally I'm used to waking up early and watching some boring Conte ball.
Yeah.
And today it was one of those things like, oh, well, this is kind of getting me sitting up out of my bed. You roll over, you turn the laptop on. What's going to get you out of your bed, right? This is exciting, right? I think over 70-something%. I can't remember the stat that you just showed, but when you're
73%.
Over 70%, when you're controlling the match like you're Manchester City, what's not to enjoy about watching your team? Yeah, we lost 3-2. I think the final score is not really relevant in terms of what we're trying to see here, what Ainge is trying to see here. He's taking blame for the defense. I mean, if you look at the first goal, I think in my notes I have what is Sergio Reguilon and Javid Tanganga doing? Let me see. First goal looks like Reggie and Romero's fault. Sorry. And then the second goal looked like Emerson and Tanganga's fault. Those were what I had in my notes. And I didn't expect Reggie to come in and play a blinder defensively. He never has. So it was just, again, that's what I expected to see from Reguilon. I think, when I look at this critically, there are still aspects we have to majorly improve, and it's starting with the four back there. But Pedro Porro, I thought was bright. Destiny Udogie, I thought was bright. There's still hope, Dave. I've always felt like there was hope. So that when I think about how I felt about the game, Davinson Sanchez, when he's out there, I feel like he's at least going to embarrass me once to twice a match. Javid Tanganga hasn't shown that he can always step up. Now, he did in the 38th minute. I did have a note of Javid Tanganga having a great open field tackle to win the ball over and get us possession. But, first match, we're all getting the crust off our boots, and long may it continue. I want to see some more of it. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, look, I agree with a lot of what you said there. Just give me 2 minutes and we'll crack on with my thoughts on it. I'm sure some of you will disagree. But Moondog, big yourself up, my man. Great to see you in the building. Iceman, it's good afternoon, fellas. Love the high intensity today. 30 shots against West Ham today. That's what we were used to seeing against us last season, my man. Rooty Toot says, big up all. Well, that was actually fun. First time in 4 seasons. It was fun. It was fun, my man. 24C says, thought we had 30 shots. Big yourself up. Yeah, we did. We did. Still lost. Foggy Phone says, big up, guys. Same old nonsense with that defense. They're awful, and it's a disgrace. We haven't addressed it. Look, with me, I think overall, I enjoyed the game, right? There were some really good moments. On another day, like I said, we could have won 7-2. But I do feel the same old problems rearing its head is overshadowing a lot of the positive things that we have seen here today. And it just goes to show that it doesn't really matter what style of football we play. I get we prefer the attacking style. But until we sort out that defense, we're still going to end up in the same position. We've seen many of these scorelines last season, 3-2s, 4-3s, this, that, and the other. And I keep saying it can't continue. Don't get me wrong. A lot of positives. I thought first half, Tanganga and Skip was absolutely anonymous. No reason for it, considering he's the fittest player on there. Only 10 days back from winning the Euros. Then you've got someone like Tanganga. Look, for me, I'm delighted he got the start, absolutely buzzing. Defensively, I thought okay, but every time the ball was progressed to him, he refused to use his left foot, which meant he kept on having to come back inside. And you could see Madison getting frustrated with it at times, and it just slowed everything down. Whereas when we had Ben Davies there in the second half on his left foot, the ball was transitioned so much quicker, which meant we could get our players in one-on-one. Now, interesting in the first half, and Jack highlighted this, Reguilón and Porro sort of stayed out wide and played outside, but Doji and Emerson sort of done the inverted role in the second half, which meant it gave our wingers a hell of a lot more space in that second half. Alfie Devine and Perisic, and every time we got the ball out to them, because the inverted wing-backs came inside, they dragged the wingers in with them, which meant when we got the ball to our wingers, Perisic and Alfie Devine, they were one-on-one with West Ham's fullback, and 9 times out of 10, they bet them and they delivered the ball. I am concerned about Richarlison. For me, it's just simple things. He had a lot of chances today that he wasted. He made a lot of runs in behind, and they're too soon, and I get what he's going through. With someone like Richarlison, he's so desperate to score. He's forgetting everything that got him to the level he's at, which is the timing of the runs, looking across the line, fluffing his lines, not having that composure in front of goal. And it is a big concern that if we do sell Kane, is this guy going to be able to pick up the slack, regardless of the amount of chances we give the guy? I have my doubts about it. So maybe if we do sell Kane, we have to go in and get another striker to be able to compete. But what I did like is the amount of possession we had. I mean, it killed me last season just watching us relinquish possession, sit back, this, that, and the other. What impressed me most today is when we did lose the ball, how quick we were to go about getting it back. Sometimes less than 30 seconds, the ball be back with us, and we be back playing again. And that's what led to the sustained period of us playing in the opposition's half. But I know Ange Postecoglou took the blame for working with the set pieces, or saying he hasn't worked on the set pieces, which we're going to do a bit of a deeper dive into. However, I'm not buying it. He's also going to be let down and pissed off, with that defense today. And until that changes, we're going to keep seeing scorelines like this right throughout the season. And in that regard, yes, we may enjoy the football more, but is it any different to what we've been seeing over the last few years? I would argue no in that regard if the defense is going to keep costing us. So, I don't know. Mia, any thoughts off the back of that?
I'm just confident that we're going to get someone else. So I just don't think that's going to be an issue, Dave. I think that we're all kind of jumping the gun a little bit too soon and saying that's going to be our defence for the season. And I just honestly, I will bet one of my most loved possessions on it that we are going to get somebody else. So that's how confident I am that we
will
are
it be
going
before
to
the
get
season starts, Mia?
Well,
that's my worry.
What I would say on that as
be.
well, Jacob, is for me, the reason why I wanted it done before preseason is because you do that, you probably win today's game. It builds momentum then going into the season. And that, for me, what is the biggest letdown about that sort of situation. I get why Tottenham brought everybody on tour, because last season under Conte, when you don't bring them, clubs ain't paying a fee. They're just coming when he's not using them anyway. We'll take them on loan. Yeah. So it gives the chance a club to sell these guys. However, absolutely, I just think it's an opportunity missed in terms of momentum. Sorry, Mia, you wanted to come in there.
What was I saying now? Darn it, you got me lost in the tracks. But yeah, I just honestly do think that we will get somebody. And I understand what you're saying about getting them before, obviously, the pre-season. And it is frustrating, and we all would have liked to see somebody else, obviously, in that defence. Absolutely, of course, I completely understand. But like I say, I do think we are going to get them. I do. I've got a pretty good feeling that we will get somebody. And when you think about it, if that's just the only problem right now, is when we get that sorted, how good are we going to be? I feel, we're going to be very good. And yeah, we're still going to lose because don't forget, even when Poch come in, it took Toby. I think Toby made a few mistakes when he was playing. I think some of the wing backs, they made a few mistakes like the centre backs, they made a few mistakes. Everyone made a few mistakes because it's learning. It's a learning process. And I feel like that we have to understand that. It's the whole team are learning what Ange wants. So I think by the start of the season, I think there will be somebody else in defence. I've got to be honest.
I think there will be. I think there will be today. I mean, if anything, today highlights that there has to be. But Jacob, anything you wanted to come in on there?
There's a lot that I want to come in on there. The first thing I want to touch on that you were speaking on, Dave, in regards to Richarlison. I mean, I think he showed us all what in 45 minutes what he showed us the entirety of last season. Just offsides, not timing the run. That's your job as a striker, to time your runs right. As a forward playing, whether you're on the right, the left, or down the middle, Your job is to know who's the farthest man back and to time it, right? You got to work on this chemistry. So I'm not too concerned still with Richarlison yet, because I feel like we're going to be playing a different style. It's going to take players like him time to acclimate, and I'm okay with that. But the finishing, to me, regardless of the system you're playing, that's your ability, right? That's a goalkeeper saving a shot. That's a passing the ball, regardless of your manager. Those are things you got to be able to do. Your job is to put the ball in the back of the net. You are a striker for Brazil, the forward number 9. So let me see that. Where is that energy? And it's just unfortunate that just seeing it over and over, just how many times we're gonna you gotta score. This is a game built on scoring goals. So but Richarlison, I think the forward run thing, I'll give him a little bit more time personally, just because when you're playing a new system, you have a million things going on in your head. You're trying to make sure the manager sees what you're doing, that you're implementing his philosophy, and that you're playing the way he wants to play, and then you're thinking about all the other things that are supposed to be natural. And I think when you're into confidence, a fork in the road as far as confidence goes, I think that it's natural that we're seeing this. Just let me see some more. Same thing with Decky. I thought, what are we doing here?
Just before you move on to Decky, Jacob, so hold that thought. Well, let me in on Richarlison so that we don't come back to it. I mean, Mia, are you sort of concerned about Richarlison's finishing in front of goal right now? Because Jacob's right, it is something that we seen last season. Look, for me, he fitted in the system today, right? You don't get as many chances as he did. If you don't have an understanding, you don't fit into it. But it's his finishing, Mia. And does that concern you if we do let Kane? And I don't want to get into the Kane situation today. It's not about that. There's so much more positives to be able to talk about today. But if we were to let Kane go, do you think that maybe we should be looking in the market for another striker, because maybe Richarlison won't pick up the slack? Or what's your overall thoughts?
I think we will anyway, and I think it will be somebody maybe who is like a bit of a younger kind of player who can maybe like slot in, play as well as like when we aren't playing Richie, we can swap them and play like, but sort of use both. Yeah, it is a bit concerning. He just needs to get his head together, like give his head a wobble, innit? Like that's what he needs to do, is give his head a little bit of a wobble, because I feel like he's trying too hard. He's just trying. He's not, when he's just not thinking about it, it seems like he's better when he's not overthinking it. And I think he's, at the moment, I've got a feeling that he's so desperate to impress that he's just maybe overthinking it a little bit.
Agreed.
Because we've seen that he can do it. We know that he can score goals. We've seen him do it for Brazil. We've seen him do it for Everton. So for me, I wonder if he's literally, like I say, just like overthinking it, trying to over impress and, not really, getting his act together. But I'm sure that Ange will have a stern word in Ange kind of fashion and sort of talk to him about it. I'm sure that he will.
For sure. I agree with you in that regard. I think he's so eager to impress. He's just he's not remaining calm in the moment where maybe he would have at Everton. Absolutely spot on. And Paul O'Connor says, do you think he was surprised maybe the amount of times the ball came into him? I don't think so whatsoever. And 4 players, they just want the ball as much as possible so they can go and express themselves and do their thing. But big up Paul. Moondog says Tanganga was woeful. Richie was bad as normal. Look, we just spoke about Richie there, Moondog. Let us know whether you agree on that. Let's go into Tanganga.
Dave, I did want to say...
Yeah, go on.
I did want to lastly say, in regards to how many chances or touches on the ball that he got in comparison to last season, I think that was why I was a little bit more patient with the lack of efficiency finishing and the lack of efficiency passing going forward with the ball last season, because I was like, he is desperate. He's getting 4 or 5 touches a match. He was getting 4 or 5 touches every 10 minutes. And to me, when you get in that high amount of looks, you got to do something with it. It was disappointing, very disappointing in Richarlison. Sure. But hey, again, it's his first match back competitively in any form or fashion, so I'm okay with. I just want to see more. I'm still hungry for more.
Yeah, look, he still has time to turn it around, but he's got to find that net soon. He's got to find it soon. Maybe he should speak to Pete Crouch. Pete Crouch went through a similar spell at Liverpool. He couldn't hit a band over a banjo, but once he got one, sort of, lifted it for him. But let's take the first part of Moondog Super Chat here, and we'll stick with you, Jacob, and go back to me on this one. Tanganga, was it an experiment that worked for you today?
Tanganga, as a left-sided center back is interesting to me because when he comes out of the academy, we're talking right back, we're talking a right-sided center back, then we're talking, and so he's kind of not really found a place. We're experimenting with him there on the left. I know in my notes he was at fault for one of them goals. I know that much. I know I got the Emerson part wrong on the second. He wasn't even on the pitch. It was, but it was Tanganga. I know he was at fault for one of them. But then I later did have in the 34th minute. 34-30, Tanganga had a really nice open field tackle. And so he's, again, one of those players that I think shows moments where it's like, there's something there, but is it enough?
On the ball, though, Jacob? Is he good enough on the ball for what Ange needs? Because for me today, and I highlighted this when I done a video on him, I was like, I think he's got it sort of defensively wise, but on the ball is where he really needs to improve to sort of stay around. And today I just felt like I just don't think he was good enough on the ball, lad.
On the ball, he's never really been the playmaking center half that kind of like a Romero is when he played the right-sided center.
It's crucial for Postecoglou's system.
Absolutely, no, I'm not arguing that fact. I'm just saying, like, from viewing Tanganga as a fan, that I've always wanted him to succeed. I thought he always showed up in big matches and disappeared in matches when we needed him, and so. I've never had trust or faith in him, but defensively, he's got all the abilities. But with the ball, he's never been that guy that's like, give me the ball and I'll drive it. When he did, I think under Nuno and Jose try at the right back position, anytime he was going forward with the ball wasn't a good time. So, like, regardless of the system, I don't think that's his forte. I think he's a defensive-minded center back, and that might not just work for a Postecoglou system.
Mia, do you feel sort of similar to myself and Jacob that, look, Tanganga, he's okay defensively, but on the ball today, he's very disappointing. And, will it work in an Ange Postecoglou system? Because he needs both of his centre-backs to be able to get the ball and move it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. I said this a while ago about Tanganga. He looks like when you see him trying to defend, he almost looks a bit panicked, like he doesn't know how to get. And then I don't know if you remember, he went for a little time where he was just giving away really silly free kicks because he just didn't know how to get the ball off the player. He just kept conceding these dumb free kicks. And I just don't think Andrew's got time for that in his team. I just don't think he would want that at all. I think that's the problem with him. He doesn't look calm on the ball when he's trying to get he doesn't think if he can't get a ball off of a player, you need to try and push them away. So you're diverting them. So you're not allowing them to get into where they want to go. But instead, he just makes a pointless tackle and ends up conceding a free kick or grabbing hold of them. He kept grabbing hold of players a lot. I don't know if you remember. It's like almost rugby tackling a lot of times.
Also, the set piece thing, like Mia just said, he's allowing. I don't remember who the Ogbonna or Bueno. I don't know who the freaking second goal scorer was. Forgive me, it was for
Bamba or something like that.
Yeah, he just flashes in front of Tanganga, and that's the problem we saw all year last year with set pieces. Is our defenders just allow players to get in front of them and then beat them in the air. It's hard to beat someone in the air if you're not either have an arm and keep them here on you and then challenge them in the air, or if you get in front of them and fight them for position to be in front and then out jump them. Tanganga is suspect in the air. So set pieces, we can't rely on this guy. Romero's already suspect in the air. I don't know that Tanganga-Romero partnership is something I ever want to see again, because two center backs that aren't good in the air, I don't like it. But
If Tanganga was to be on the right side and he's progressing the ball on the right side as a sort of backup player to Romero, it'd be interesting to see that. But look, let's wait and see. But I do want to talk about set pieces, so we'll stick with them. Lewis says, I think Ange has done a lot in 2 weeks. Look, I fully agree. I mean, to change, to get players sort of so used to his system so quick is absolutely brilliant by Ange Postecoglou. Of course, there's still more kinks to sort of iron out. But to see the transformation from last season, from that defensive mindset to that attacking mindset and everyone buying into it, huge transition, Lewis. Absolutely huge. You're absolutely spot on. And we'll ask the panel on this one quickly as well. Mia, I mean, what's your thoughts on this point here from Louis before we get into the set pieces? That look, Angie's done a lot in 2 weeks. Were you sort of impressed how quickly people bought into it and how quick he's turned us around in that attacking sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did say he hasn't really had that much time with the boys, so you've got to understand that. And for that amount of time, he seems to have got what he wants attacking wise really into them, because he is very much, we're playing my way or it's the highway. They've got no choice but to attack. We are going to play my way, So I think that he has definitely drilled that into them, absolutely. And in 2 weeks, so imagine when by the time we get to the Shakhtar Donetsk game, if he's drilled it into them now, we're going to have a bit more time playing it. So hopefully they'll even more so be, playing his style of football. So yeah, it's going to take time, but in 2 weeks, I think he's done extremely well, to be honest with you.
And Jacob, would you agree with that?
I would agree that this looks completely different to anything I've seen lately. So yeah, absolutely. Ainge Postecoglou's done some amazing work. He's even admitted in the quotes, "Hey, I ain't work on defense. I ain't really look at that." So I think he'll look at the coaching staff. I'm sure will look at the tape today and say, "Yeah, we got to figure this situation out." Now, you got to weigh it, right? Ainge Postecoglou's coming into a situation where everyone's saying the play is shit. This isn't the Spurs way. We're getting so far away from what we normally are and what we like to do. So he's looking at it from a standpoint, okay, this is my first chance to show the fans of Tottenham. Like myself, I didn't watch him at Celtic. I watched him one time in the Scottish Cup when we were supposed to sign him as soon as it was over. So I didn't watch Ainge. I don't dissect Ainge's game style. So for fans like me, this was an opportunity for Ainge to say, look at what I'm doing here. And again, how long has he really had with this squad? It's impressive the amount of difference that I've seen in our squad as opposed to how we played last year and the amount of time. Because if you think about it, he didn't have Kane but what, a week and a half?
Yeah.
Not even 2 weeks with Kane. And the other senior players who played in the World Cup or whatever the rule was, whether like Romero, when they all came back, then he had the full squad. But players like Ndombele wasn't out there today. He's been with Ainge since the beginning. Harvey White, Alfie Devine, these are players that have all been in and training around Ainge, so they've been listening to Ainge. So it'd be more a little bit understandable that they could be catching on so quickly. But I think to have a full functioning squad, we're not there yet. Let's realize, hey, this is our first competitive match under Ainge. This is the first chance we really got to see under Ainge ball. I think it's a little bit of, for me, I fall in love real easy, Dave. And I've already fallen in love with Ainge. Now it's just I want to fall in love with what he does on the pitch. And I'm not trying to get head over heels. It is a loss. It is a preseason, and we don't know what our 11 is going to look like. But damn, I'm just so happy. I'm so excited to see some ball again. We got another preseason match coming up. It just feels good. I think Ainge has done a lot for me, not just in the 2 weeks with the players, but in the couple months that we've had him as a manager. The way he handles himself in press conferences, the Harry Kane drama, he's just sitting back. It don't bother me. Yeah, he's cool as a cucumber on a cookout. You know what I mean? I love it.
Spot on, lad. Absolutely spot on. Big up Moondog and Lewis for the support, guys, and the talking points. Really do appreciate it. We're going to run for about another 20 minutes. There's over 290 in the house. Please smash that like button. If you're new, welcome, and smash that subscribe button and join 10,800 loyal, passionate Spurs fans. Feel free to grab one of them channel memberships if you enjoy the work we do and the commitment to Tottenham, or feel free to get your talking point, your comments in a super chat, and we'll make sure we get it up and discuss it. But most importantly, keep getting your comments in, and we will bring them up as we go along. Now, look, we'll stick with Ange Postecoglou. There's two things I want to talk about here, and we'll go through them sort of quick enough because I do want to get in a bit of a chat about some of the new signings as well and what positives we should take away from today's game. So the first one is that and we'll go to you on this one, Mia. Does Ange need time to work with that defence? Are we all overreacting? Or should it actually accelerate the process to Tottenham to bring in these defenders and get them in through the door?
Both. I think he needs to work on the defence because obviously part of that isn't just the centre backs. It's obviously on like either side, like with Adoji or whoever he's going to have, Reggie, whoever he's going to have playing on either side as well of the four. So I think that, yes, he definitely does need to work on it and make sure that it's, embedded into them. and whoever's going, they're going to go. But if anybody stays, they already know the drill. So absolutely, he needs to make sure they're all well drilled when it comes to defence. And yes, we still do need to change it. We still do need to get a couple more, you know. So like I say, there's definitely both aspects are definitely true, and they can both be true at the same time, in my opinion.
Interesting. Jacob, do you agree with that? Because I'm of the opinion it's sort of like, look, it doesn't really matter what manager is here. I don't think we're going to see change in them. For me, you know, especially from set pieces, right? It's sort of like you've got to want to be the one to go and clear that ball. You have to be the one to want to, you know, go and header that ball. You have if you love defending so much, you are looking at people, pulling them into places and stuff like that. And for me, it doesn't matter what manager we've had. I don't really see any changes. I still see the same mistakes. I'm of that opinion. So who do you side with? Do you think Mia is correct that look, let's just hold off a minute, give Andrew a bit of time to see if he can improve them and that there might be a bit of improvement?
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that, but the ones that we have got that we probably are, say like a Reggie and an Adoji, maybe they need improvement on their side of with the defensive side. So they definitely still need improving. The same as Romero, because Romero still needs some work, right? So we can't not work on that because that needs working on. And then we need to get someone else who's going to come in and they also need to be able to be worked upon so that then they know Angie's ways and Angie's system. So for me, it's not just about thinking about what's coming. We have to make sure the ones that we've got that are going to be in the system anyway are going to work hard, because don't forget we're playing the four at the back, so all four of them need to know where they need to be positionally, etc. They all need to know defensively what to do.
Yeah, for me, Dave, I think that I have no faith in the lot that's been here for X amount of years. I have been saying if you've been here for 4 or 5 or more years, your name's not Harry Kane or Heung-min Son, you got to go. And let's look at this specifically at the defense. There hasn't been any change. The last center back we did any business with was Christian Romero, and he's one that we're now seeing 2 seasons of, and we're saying we need him to improve. Well, let's give him someone to help improve him. I agree with Mia that we need all these people need work, but I don't want to work on these players that I don't want to be here. I don't want to see Dyer trying to improve under an Ainge system. I don't want to see Sanchez trying to improve. What is Sanchez going to prove to me that he hasn't proven to me throughout his tenure with Nuno, Conte, Jose? It's just I'm going to see him get turned around and embarrassed like I saw today. And I just know that. And it doesn't matter if it's Ainge. It doesn't matter if it's Houdini as our manager. No one's going to get Sanchez to play the way he should play until he sees some other colors on his shirt. Feel the same way for Dyer.
I think you're misunderstanding my point, both of you. I'm not speaking about a Sanchez. I'm not speaking about the ones that are Rodin who we think that are going to end up going. It's more about the ones that we know are going to stay, that need to know what the system's going to be. They need to know how to play, because it's all about making sure they're all well drilled. So I'm saying that they need to be well drilled in those with set pieces, etc., and working on. And then obviously whoever comes in also needs to know the system, knows however to work it. So it isn't just necessarily about the ones that are coming in, is what I'm saying, because we still need to work on the ones that are going to stay, because we know that Romero's going to stay, so we know that he does need that bit of work still. As I say, Destiny, everybody's questioning whether Destiny's got the
He was brilliant today.
He was brilliant today.
Absolutely.
He was brilliant. But we're just talking like in general, if he needs any help defensively, Reguilon, if he's going to stay, does he need help defensively?
I do not want to see Reguilon anymore. I don't know what y'all's thoughts on him were.
Listen, everybody obviously has their own opinion. The point is, it's not up. Obviously, it's not down to us. It will be down to what Ange wants, I guess.
I was just asking, what did y'all think? Do you see Reguilon fitting into us going forward? I've seen enough of him. I don't want him.
Just before we move on to Reguilon, we'll actually have a quick discussion on that. I think when we're looking at the centre-backs, look, for me, we need to bring in 1 or 2, 100%. Yes, you might have 1 or 2 that will stay around as backup, but for me, it's clear and obviously we need to bring someone in because, look, Sanchez came in the second half. If we get injuries, chances are, whether it's him that stays around or Dyer that stays around, they're going to get a couple of games. them mistakes are still going to happen. What we need to do is we need to buy a defender in here that wants to head the ball. That's our biggest weakness. You look at that back line in the first half, it was very small. Romero, we know what he's good at. He's good on the ball, good at crunching people, not great in the air. Porro, not good in the air. Reguilón, not great in the air either. And that's why we got caught for set pieces. And that's why, if that is what Ange's looking at going forward, you've got to buy that centre back in there that wants to go and header that ball. And it's not something you can teach someone. You have to want to do it. It's either inside you or it's not. So, look, for me, that's what we need to be able to address, that issue. But look, let's move on to just quickly as well. I've seen Ange Postecoglou take the blame for it about we haven't worked on set pieces. I get it, right? I get it. However, let's not pretend this is a huge problem since Jose Mourinho, and it has to be sorted out. Look, Ange can set them up in ways where he can go zonal, he can go man marking, he can tell people who to pick up. But again, you have to have that grit and desire to want to defend it. And that's why, for me, we need someone that's going to do that, but also someone that sort of, instructs people, that leader, because I guarantee you at least one of them set piece goals doesn't happen today if you've got someone back there telling people what to do, because naturally, when that ball goes dead, you see it as a breather, right? Because you're playing at such high intense speeds. But we fail to switch back on. But if you've got someone there in the moment that's saying, look, you pick up him, maybe one of them goals don't happen. Maybe you see a bit of an improvement. Look, let's wait and see what happens on that. But in terms of Reguilón, look, I thought I've seen some good bits going forward, but defensively, I thought he was shocking today. Yeah. At that back post, that goal that came in, he's just got to do better defensively. He's just got to be stronger. He's not even aware Danny Ings is there. He just lets him run in front of him. He's got to make his body big. He's got to get his body between the man and the ball, and he clears that. Thought he was poor. A bit disappointed by him. I thought Adoji, second half, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes Reguilón spot in that first 11. I would like to see Reguilón kept the wrong over Sessegnon, me and Jacob. But Doji, first of all, I was surprised how big the guy was. He's a unit. But I was very encouraged with what I've seen. And even that goal, if he slots in there, he might be able to help us alleviate some of them set pieces or balls in the box. He's a big guy. He can head the ball. He's proven that. But I thought, as debutant, he was absolutely outstanding today. Yeah,
he was really, really good. And he's over 6 foot, isn't he? He's
6'2", I think.
I couldn't believe how big he was, mate.
He's a tall guy. Because I tell you what, I felt a bit sorry because Solomon had he walked in, didn't he? When we saw them all walking in, and he walked in with Destiny and I can't think of who else he walked in, but they're both over 6 foot, and he's not a tall guy, but that made him look even shorter, bless him, because he was amongst the 6'2s and the 6'3s, so he looked even tinier. But yeah, he's
going to get taller too. He's got 4 more years to grow. He's only 20 years old. So he's 6'2". He could wind up being 6'3" by the time this is all said and done. He's going to be, like you said, the absolute unit. I've been, again, I watched a lot of Udogie because I watched Udinese specifically to watch him because I wanted to watch more leagues. Bundesliga and Serie A were the two that I targeted first, and Udinese was like, perfect, now I have someone to watch in the Serie A. And I thought going forward, it was never a question of this guy's got it in his left foot, his right foot. I think that he can be something great for us, whether that's coming at the left wing or the left back, I think remains to be seen. Defensively, he didn't worry me that much with Udinese, but what I did see when I did watch him was when later on in the game at like 70th minute, 80th minute, he wouldn't get back anymore and get back to his defensive responsibilities. So that was a little bit worrisome, but I don't know what the Udinese manager is setting him up to do. It could be something completely different. I thought the first taste, what I got was enough to say I'd rather see that than Reguilón. I mean, Reguilón, yes, is better than Sessegnon, but that again is not saying much. That's like saying, Dyer's better than Sanchez or Sanchez is better than Dyer. It's like,
listen, one of those Rice Krispie cakes is better than what Sessegnon is.
I mean, they could hold more weight, at least I know, than his hamstrings can. I just feel like I have no hope in Reguilón. I think he showed me enough today that it's just a lot of reminding of like what frustrates me about players. Richarlison, Reguilón, these players are showing, and the only players that did something different for me today were obviously the new ones. so excited about some of the new ones like James Madison. I'm trying to not focus and think too much on the people I didn't like.
Enough for you to know, Jacob. I thought he's a bit of a bystander in the first half. I don't think he got on the ball enough or demanded it enough. Now, look, that could be because he played on the left-hand side as a sort of a floating 8. Some would say a floating 10 maybe. And the ball didn't come from Tanganga enough. But I was a bit let down by Madison today, being brutally honest.
I thought he looked good. I mean, again, it was just a sample size, and I feel like the first 45 was majorly us just trying to get out there and get into it. So I forgive a lot of the he went missing. Like Oliver Skip, yeah, he went missing, but again, this is a guy. I just don't think he's talented enough for what we're trying to do. But he at least showed that he was trying somewhat. But in regards to James Madison, I thought his passing looked so good, and just his calmness in the center park there. We haven't had, if it's not Kane doing that, we don't have anyone doing that. So it was nice. I felt like he surprised Kane with some of his passes. Some of his passes, I think Kane was a little like not expecting that to get through, or not expecting it with that much weight, or etc. I think once they really work out with Ainge what they're trying to do between the two of them, Kane and Madison, there's something going on there that I really liked. Again, I'm watching this at 4 a.m., so I could have been totally just off my rocker, but I liked what I saw from Madison, at least in the sense of like there may be some fireworks in there. I think there's something special cooking there. That's just me. I'm curious what anyone else thought about James Madison.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, do you know I was more impressed with in the midfield? I thought Basuma, he was brilliant in the midfield, I thought, today. I thought he was really good. I was really impressed with him. And he looked like he was hungry for the ball as well. He was just like, give me the ball. He looked actually good.
If he would have scored that goal, Mia, that would have been unbelievable.
I know. I felt so sorry for him that he didn't score that goal. But he was
that was
really
1-2 was with Skippy,
good.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was nice.
It was nice, and that's what he was brilliant. Madison, I think he grew into the game a bit more, but he didn't shine bright for me in the team when he played. Like there was other players that I thought, they haven't played as like they're new, or say like a Basuma hasn't played as much, that shone brighter for me than Madison. But I think it will come with Madison. I do think it will come. I don't think it's going to be a case of that he won't come good. I think it's just going to take him maybe a bit more time. But he was good today. But I wouldn't say he was one of the better players. What I've noted down in my head, who I thought was really good, he wasn't necessarily the top of that list.
Yeah, look, for me,
he only had 2 passes, like not accurate, 22-24 passing from the center of the park there. That to me shows that he's taking the ball in, he's distributing it well. 2 passes out of all
I get
45
that,
gone.
I get that, but they weren't what we expect from Madison, which is game splitting passes, opening up the game. A lot of it was saved by Madison today. It was, and that's not digging him out. I like Madison, sort of like Madison now that he signed for Tottenham.
Yeah,
but for me, just as with Madison, I feel like I just expected more. I thought there were better midfielders. Look, Mia mentions Basuma. I thought once we went 2-0 down and Basuma got going, I thought it was brilliant. I thought Lo Celso was brilliant in the second half. I thought Papa Matasar was outstanding in the second half as well. And like when I look at centre midfielders, there's so many more there that done more than Madison to affect the game. And that's what I mean. I get what you're saying about not giving away the ball, which is crucial, right? It's key. But I don't think he'd done enough to affect the game in the first half for us to sort of open it up a bit more compared to maybe what Lo Celso or Basuma done. But look, quickly we'll get thoughts on Vicario and Solomon. So Jacob, what we'll do is we'll split it up. We'll go to Vicario on you, and then we'll go to Solomon on me, and then I want to get your quick takeaways, and then we'll have to end off because I have a channel I need to be on, and so does Mia. So Jacob, we'll start with you on Vicario quickly. Quick thoughts, sort of. He's the one that, look, he slipped, kicked it out, and they got a corner and they scored from it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's showing a little bit of that. He's not seasoned. He's not our captain. He's new to the squad. He's settling in too. What I liked was, yeah, he may have had a shaky, let's say a 50-50 type first half. He had a hell of a save right there in extra time, though. Let's not forget that save. I can't remember. It was like 46 minutes in, something like that. It was right before halftime. It was down to his left. I remember. Maybe it was Jared Bowen took that shot on. I don't remember who it was, but I just remember it was a shot with a lot of pace and power down to his left-hand corner, and he got down very well, which Hugo can't get down like that. Forrester ain't got down like that. So he showed me something in that second right there. Regardless of his shaky first half, I agree. I'm a goalkeeper, so I'm glad that you came to me for this one, because as a member of the Goalkeepers Union, I will give him some credit. He got down very quickly. I think that's what we know him to do from Empoli, right? With all the things coming out, not necessarily that he's good with his hands, but that he can get down. And I saw that. I saw some promise there. I mean, outside of that, he didn't have too much work to do other than the work he was creating for himself or our defense created for him. On set pieces, I don't necessarily give him all the fault. I give him about half the fault. And the other two players that should have locked it down, I give the other percentage to. So I'm not too upset with the second goal, whichever one was the set piece one. I'm not too upset about that one. But, need to see some more of him. I'm excited enough. He can get down in a hurry, far from his body. I like that. That shows me something that Hugo and Forrester ain't shown me.
Interesting. Mia, just quickly, sorry, Perchy, big yourself up, new channel member, brother. Hopefully we see you around on fan shows. Hopefully you can get involved with our interactive content that we've designed for all the channel members this season, my man. So big yourself up and welcome, Perchy. Anyone else that wants to hop on it, simply just grab one of them memberships. Mia, Solomon, you've been waiting all stream to have your say on him. I mean, he was good today for me. I liked him.
Yeah, he was looking saucy. The way he was like cutting in his passes and his link up as well. Like he was linking up well with the other players. He was unlucky, wasn't he? He had that chance as well that was he was saved. And he would have scored that. That would have been a fantastic goal for him to get as well. So I really enjoyed watching him. Every time I was on the ball, I was excited. Do you remember that word, excited? When we used to be actually excited about watching our football team, and he's definitely got that about him that you're just like, what are you going to do? Like, he's definitely got something. The boy, I tell you, I was really, really pleased to see him play, and I was really excited to see what he can offer because, again. That's what Postecoglou said. He likes players in same positions that have got different aspects to them. And he is a very different player to Sonny. So for me, I think that it's so nice to see what he had to offer today. And he's definitely got that little bit of sauce, I think. I think he's got definitely a bit of sauce about him.
Yeah, look, for me, what I liked about Solomon is that how direct he was. He wanted to go outside, cross it. He wanted to come inside and shoot. But ultimately, every time he got that ball, he just wanted to pick it up and drive. Very, very impressed with him today. And he's, hopefully it puts a little bit of respect on his name. But look, I want to go through you guys and quickly get your positives before we end off. And I'm going to put your channel links in here so people can get across and subscribe. So, Mia, we'll start with you, my dear. What's your positive takeaways from today's game?
Playing nice football. That's my positive. Actually watching football and being excited and happy to watch the game and not feeling like this is an absolute drag and thinking how much longer is left on the clock that I have to watch this absolute nonsense football. So it was just nice to enjoy a game. It was just nice. And everybody and the players looked happy as well. They weren't happy we obviously didn't win, but their body language, they were happy. They wanted to play this football because it excites us. It excites them too. And that's what they want to believe in. They want to believe in something that's exciting. They don't want to play boring football. So, yeah, it was just nice to see that nice football.
Absolutely spot on. It was refreshing. I mean, I rang my old lad after, and even he was saying how nice it was to see us just dominate a bit of possession and actually play a bit of ball. But everybody, Mia's channel link is here in the chat. Please get over there, check it out, smash that subscribe button. Your boy was on it yesterday, giving his preview to today's game. I know that Mia will have her post-match thoughts up there as well. So everybody, please get it across. Check that channel out, smash the subscribe button. Mia, thank you very much for coming on today.
Absolutely no problem. Thank you for inviting me.
No, I appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. Considering it was last minute, spur of the moment as well. You and Jacob were very good to say yes to me. You could have easily said, Dave, go away, I need more dollars. So I appreciate that, Mia. Thank you very much. Jacob,
yes,
what's
sir.
your positive takeaway? And what's your positive takeaway?
I'm gonna hit a little bit like a teacher here. I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like real quick, but then I'll finish off with the positives. For me, I just don't like our defense. Oh, that's obvious. I think everyone agrees with that. Richarlison's chances not good enough. But Giovanni Lo Celso, just because you played decent for 45 minutes, I'm sorry, sir, doesn't mean you have a spot on my team. I think this is a good window shopping moment for him. So yeah, cool. Let me see some more of that, and then hopefully we can get that 20 mil we were asking for you, because I just don't want to see his unmotivated bow-legged self running through in a Tottenham kit anymore. I'm tired of seeing his corners hit the first man. I just don't want to see him in Tottenham. That's just my personal preference. I'll have more on that later tonight whenever I go live on United Spurs of America. But the good I will say is, there looks to be, like Mia was saying, some kind of new life in here. And if we can create as many chances as we created for Richarlison in that second half, we could do that for Harry Kane. He could be bagging 35 Premier League goals this season, 38 Premier League goals. The ceiling on that hasn't been set, because look at how many Richarlison could have put 4 on today. And if that's Harry Kane, he might have. So the promising thing is, in such little time, look how different we look under Ange Postecoglou. Look how different our players, like Mia said, our body language. Look, everything looks, feels different, better, improved, healthier, ready to go. So for me, that's the major positive. Again, the game, the result doesn't really matter to me in the end, because it is the first competitive match that we've played, really. So but yeah, for me, man, Ange Postecoglou, long may he reign. Let's see what more he can do with another week and 2 more weeks and 3.
Yeah.
I mean, we kick off in about a month from now, so the Premier League season. So I think that if he can continue to improve us and make us look differently, and raise our hopes and expectations of our squad, then I have hope that in a month we can look Premier League ready, and who knows what the season will bring. So a lot of positive to take from today. Still, the negative is looming there, but you know what? It's always going to be there. Just let's focus on what we can focus. So we're moving good.
Spot on. And if people want to check out more of Jacob, like I said, he'll be going live later tonight. The link here, just like Mia's channel, is in the comment section. So guys, please get over, show these guys the love that they deserve, coming on here, airing their opinions. So just please get over and smash the subscribe button. And Jacob also has plenty of content up there for you guys to check out as well. But guys, that's it from us on the post-match reaction. I'm now heading over to Chris Cowlins if people want to follow me over there and big your boy up in the chat. We all know I love that. It feeds my ego. But look, plenty of positives to take away from today. But what I will say is, I know we're on the positive train, but if we want a really good season, let's get out and demand that them centre-backs in numbers. And then once we have that, we're going to win a lot more games. So although things are positive, let's get what we need so that we can have a really good season. But that's it from us. It's just it's the first one up and running. We will have a lot more time in future to go into all these topics in more detail. Today was a bit rushed because I've got commitments on other channels. But, make sure you stay tuned and look out for these after every single game. And we'll have some great conversations on it. But that's it from us. Until later on, as always, come on, you Spurs. In hands we trust.
Come on,
And we
Spurs.
trust.
Got him with the patented sign off now.
Everywhere we go.